Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mark with the Town Library here with our next cooking video, and today we're going to be doing that perennial favorite, kettle corn. This is actually a super simple recipe. All you need is a half a cup of popcorn kernels, a quarter cup of vegetable oil, and a third of a cup of sugar. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do here is pour out our half cup of popcorn kernels. And you'll want to keep 3 little kernels to the side. This will be how we tell if the oil is hot enough later when we start the cooking. I'm going to move over to the stove now. And I'm just going to measure out a quarter cup of vegetable oil and pour that in there. And I do want to note here that I'm using vegetable oil, but you can try other types of oil too. It adds a subtle different flavor. I've heard a lot of people say coconut oil is good. And then I'm dropping my 3 kernels on here, popping a lid on and turning it over medium heat. And I'll know that it's ready when those 3 kernels of popcorn pop. So I'm going to just skip ahead to when that is. And there goes our last kernel. So I'm going to grab the rest of our popcorn and I'm going to dump it in there. And then I'm going to grab the sugar and just give everything a quick stir to make sure it's all mixed together. And then I'm going to start shaking the popcorn kernels and occasionally lifting it off the burner and giving everything an extra good shake to make sure it's fully covered, but generally just shaking it back and forth because you don't want anything ever standing still. That'll give your popcorn a chance to burn. And you want to make sure it's constantly shaking from now on. And they do actually make special pots with a little handle you can stir to keep everything moving. It makes this easier. Just while this is happening, I do want to make a quick note. This is the exact same process you would follow for making just regular stovetop popcorn, except of course you wouldn't include the sugar and you just melt some butter to pour it on top later. And let me tell you, as someone who was a huge microwave popcorn aficionado growing up, once you start making popcorn this way, you'll never want to go back. So give that a try as well. I'm just gonna keep shaking here until the popcorn start popping, so let me speed ahead to that. This is taking longer than it would without the sugar because all that sugar has to melt as well, just to let you know. All right, and the popcorn is starting to pop and it's just gonna get faster and faster, so you want to continue this, just shaking it back and forth and keeping the kernels in motion until the popcorn's slowed down to about 1 to 2 seconds between each pop. So still going fast, but slowed down a lot. Once you've reached that point, you want to get it off the heat entirely, remove it from there, keep it moving, keep shaking back and forth until the poppings mostly stop, and then you'll immediately want to pour it into a bowl. You can see that I stopped shaking a few seconds too early here because it was still popping out after I opened the lid. You do not want every kernel to be popped because that means you left it on too long and you probably have some burnt popcorn. But I'm just going to move over and show you the finished product, and we have a full bowl of delicious kettle corn. I found that when you make regular popcorn, you want to eat it right away before the butter even has a chance to cool. Like once everything's gone cold, it's nowhere near as good. But with kettle corn, it's as good, if not better, the next day as a cool snack. Give it a try yourself, and I hope we see you again next week.